Hello and good morning. About 5:30 a.m. I decided to start the lights a little earlier on this tank, so we get better light when I feel like filming. Of course, really got to start playing with the camera settings. The autofocus on this camera is really not good for getting up close to things. I've got to. There's going to be a way around that. I just haven't figured it out yet. But it's really good camera when you're not trying to zoom in on like microscopic things. So I'll figure that out after. But yeah, look at that. Look at that water. I just day after day. It's very consistent now. And that's how we want a tank. I don't care what kind of fish you have. You wouldn't let your cat or your dog, swim in a septic tank, and you shouldn't let your fish do it either. I'm going to drive that point home in a way because people are learning about biocycles, and there's a lot of confusing information. That's the thing about probably keeping any pet, and then you do your research. A lot of us will turn to social media, and there's a lot of good advice when it comes to many fish on social media, but the human condition sort of, people get locked into almost like religions when it comes to certain topics, and fish keeping's definitely been one of them. I've observed that over the course of the last year and a half to 2 years of really digging into the hobby, because I was away from it for decades, really. And last time I was really seriously into fish keeping, I was a child. I was kind of like a mad scientist child, so I was into everything. I had over 30 birds at one time. I raised a double yellow-headed Amazon parrot from like a hatchling all the way to an adult, being its mother, and trained that bird up. I used to walk around all summer with that bird on my shoulder for years. My friends, even my friends from childhood, will still call me Bird because of that. They call me Bird because I was just surrounded by birds and fish. Fish was my other thing. So I'll never buy birds again because they're messy and they're loud. And in my old age, I don't want either of those things. But fish, no problem. No problem. Love them. Kind of grew up in a pet shop. I spent several years of my childhood at one. I sort of befriended the owners of the local pet shop, and basically it was my second home for a while. So I learned a lot back then, and keeping your water clean was definitely what everyone was doing. The stuff where we have these swampy looking biocycles, and it's all nature. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and that's the truth. Like, it's the god awful truth. And you can establish a biocycle by loading up your water column with biology, in the way that certain followings have gotten into. But that's not a good way to do things, especially if you're going to have ornamental fish. You just don't even go there. Don't even go there. You'll kill your fish. You'll make them sick. They won't have a good life. That's all there is to it. They're not going to live well in soup. That's the short answer. But the reason you don't want biology in your water column, it's really simple. It's really simple. First of all, it's the wrong equation for a glass box with water in it that you're trying to keep fish. Okay, you're not going to simulate Mother Nature by filling up your water column with biology. Now, that biology in your water column can, and to a degree will, appear like it will take up room in your cycle. It will chew up ammonia and all the stuff that beneficial bacteria will deal with as well. But there's a reason we call the beneficial bacteria beneficial, and the other stuff is just all garbage. It's bad, and it's bad because it reproduces quickly and it floats around your water column. And the beneficial bacteria we want to keep, that sticks to the surfaces of everything, it reproduces very slowly. So, like, logic right there. Once I said that, like, more than half the population went, oh, because, when you hear that, what you should be thinking is, oh, so the free-floating bacteria is going to outcompete the beneficial bacteria. It's going to take over the job that the beneficial bacteria was doing or should be doing. And the problem with that is the free-floating bacteria will rapidly reproduce and over-consume the resources. It'll starve out the beneficial bacteria, and you won't have a stable cycle. Your cycle will be nothing close to stable, and the instability will kill your fish, period. That's how it works. So these people that are trying to talk you into green water tanks, unless you're running guppies and betas and goldfish, don't bother. And I wouldn't even do that for those guppies, betas, and goldfish. It's really not. They'll have a better life in water like this than they will in that swamp. And they'll have a more stable environment. You keep your water absolutely sterilized so that every surface in your tank is covered with thick white slime. And that beneficial bacteria you want to keep has no competition for resources, none. So you get a massive amount of it all over your surfaces instead of a limited amount of it, because it's competing with everything else that's in your water column. Okay? It's pure logic. It's pure logic. And when you have slow growing, beneficial bacteria, it takes 3 days to reproduce, doing the job in your tank, and that population is like as big and as healthy as it can possibly be. That's how you get a stable tank. That's how you get water like this. Period. So the UV kills the free-floating everything. All microbes, everything. All bacteria, and then the stuff that's sticking to the surfaces will never go through the UV. It'll never see it. It'll never get there, and that stuff will thrive. That's the equation. It's that simple. A lot of people have messaged me and said, I can't keep discus alive. I just told you why right now. That's it. That's why your discus died. Period. Period. End of statement. So, it's part of the human condition to fall into cliques and develop, to drink the Kool-Aid, so to speak. And I'm begging you to reconsider if you drank that Kool-Aid for the sake of your fish and your hobby and the enjoyment of your hobby. Because what you've done is created a time bomb, an unstable bacterial time bomb that is going to go off one day, and you're going to start seeing all the fish in, tank A or tank B start dying off on you. Your water is going to look milky. You're going to overlook it because you just haven't been able to deal with it, or you don't care, or you don't think it's a problem. But if your water's at all milky, you've got a problem. You've got an unstable cycle. And that's your problem. And if it ain't killing your fish today, and it's not killing them in a week, the clock's ticking. It will start killing fish. So I guess we'll leave it there for today. But keeping it clean, that's the way you want to do it. Keep that water column pure so your beneficial bacteria can maximize and do its actual beneficial job. Thanks for watching.